Hi everybody, it's Melissa Ziobron, the state representative for the 34th District, covering East Hampton, East Haddam, and part of Colchester. So today's Friday. It's the final day of 2 weeks of public hearings in the Appropriations Committee, where we've heard from literally thousands of residents about the governor's proposed budget. Last night we were here till well after 11 o'clock, almost midnight, listening to folks who are going to be really devastated within the disability community, losing services that are really life-changing for them, and it was really humbling to listen to their stories. In addition to the public hearing on the governor's proposed budget, it's also been a very busy time for me as your voice in Hartford. I've been testifying on a few bills that I think will make a difference for people in my community and across the state. One of them is a transparency bill for not only parents but students on their tuition bills in colleges, to make sure that they know that 15% of their tuition actually goes for scholarships. It's called a set-aside program, and while it's a wonderful program, I think parents have a right to know and students have a right to know where their hard-earned money is going, especially as it relates to the increasing costs for tuition. In addition to that, I put forward a bill that some of my colleagues necessarily weren't happy with. It was called a revolving door bill, and it would stop state employees, especially in agencies, from leaving state service and then immediately becoming a lobbyist at the Capitol. I think that there is a lot of problems at the state, and I think public trust is one of them, and this bill is trying to aim at getting to the issues regarding restoring that public trust, and I think having a revolving door policy for state agency employees, as the same as legislators having a one-year moratorium, is the right thing to do. I also testified on a bill that would help small businesses. It was an idea that was brought to me by a small business in East Hampton, which would give teenagers the opportunity to work more hours, and it's called a learning or a training wage, and that is an opportunity for them to get the desperately needed experience they need in the real world, and so as a stepping stone for future employment. And I thought it went over very well. We'll see what happens with it. Lastly, I also attended a press conference with my fellow legislators on both sides of the aisle in opposition to the outrageous gun permit fees that the governor has proposed, literally over 800% of an increase over the last 5 years to $375 for a legal law-abiding citizen to access their constitutionally protected right to bear arms. So we've been talking about a lot of things up here at the Capitol. Of course, it's always about the budget first and foremost, but there's a lot of other things going on all week long. Next week is going to be another important week as we start to work with the subcommittees on the budget proposal. So we'll be meeting with commissioner and agency heads all week long as we continue to try and develop an alternative package from the legislature in answer to the governor's proposal. And I also will have an update for you on the marijuana bill that I proposed as well. I should be finding out very soon when it will be scheduled for a public hearing, and for those who support and oppose that piece of legislation, I want to make sure you have that information so you can share your voice on that important issue as well. I hope everyone has a great weekend. We'll be back at it on Monday, and it's always a real honor to be your voice up in Hartford, and I hope you'll continue to follow me. Don't forget to look for my hashtag, which is CTHouse34. You can find me on all types of social media and both of my websites, one of which I maintain myself. Look forward to seeing you soon in the district. Take care.